Hello, I'm Lucy from Colouring in the Midst of Madness, and today I'm bringing you another comparison post. So Zemlja Snova, this one, is a beautiful Croatian book illustrated by a really talented illustrator, Tomislav Tomic. And many of you will know that this is one of the hardest books to get hold of anywhere. It has been an absolute nightmare to get hold of. Anyway, a Dutch publisher, BBNC Uitgevers, I'm probably saying that completely wrongly, but hopefully it's okay, have picked up the rights for it, and they have brought out Dromenvanger. Now, there have been a lot of questions and conversations online about whether they're the same book, and they are, and what the sort of similarities and differences will be, because avid readers of my blog will know that there are always differences between publications when they're published by different companies and published in different countries. So I have found a list of 21 differences. Some are huge, some are not so huge. So I will start going through those now. So if there are any pauses, it's because I'm having to look at my laptop to find my list. So do bear with me. There is also a written post, the link is in the description. I will try and show as many differences as possible on camera, but not all of them will pick up. There will be photos for every point on my blog, so if anything wasn't clear on this, then do check that out. So, the first difference is the covers. Both of them have a soft feel cover, but the glossy accents are different, so I'm hoping this is going to show up. So on Zemlja Snova there is just gloss on the title and the subtitle, and on Dromenvanger it's on the publishing logo, these bits of title, and also these little stars at the top. I'm hoping that's shown up. The next difference is very obvious, and that's the cover image. Now, this image on Dromenvanger is actually from the book. So yeah, this is a partially coloured image directly from the book. And the image on Zemlja Snova is similar to a lot of the stuff that's inside the book, but this actual image doesn't exist within the book. It's just indicative of the illustrations. So number 3 is the publishing logo, and obviously these differ. The focus logo is down here in the bottom right of Zemlja Snova, and it's bang in the middle here on the left on Dromenvanger. So number 4 is the card that the cover is made of. Now I'm hoping I can show you this. So I'm hoping this will show up, that these are the same thickness card. And obviously both books are paperback, not hardback, so you will need to be a little bit careful. So the inside covers, as you've probably just seen a little bit, the inside cover of Dromenvanger is completely blank, and there are no French flaps or anything, it just opens out. Front and back it is completely blank. Which is a little bit of a shame, because on Zemlja Snova we've got this lovely black and white artwork with some writing in Croatian. I'm afraid I don't know what that says. It's something about the illustrator. And then it opens out to this really glossy, beautiful purple illustration, which is from later on in the book. And that opens out front and back as well. So number 6 is the back cover, and you can see that again these are very different. So this is actually a reverse image of the image that's on the front of the book, and this is a frame taken from one of the illustrations within the book, and this is probably colourable. You'd need to use alcohol markers. Water-based pens would probably just rub off. And I think pencils would as well, because it's a little bit shiny. But yes, you probably can colour that actually. Right, number 7 is the spine. So you can see that the title and the illustrator name are actually round the other way when compared to each other. And I'm not sure what this says. I'm not sure if this means that it's a colouring book or that it's a subtitle. I'm afraid I don't actually read either of these languages. And then obviously you've got the different publishing logos at the bottom. The book size is also different. Let me just pop this. I've got postcards marking out pages that I need to show you later. So, yeah, the book size, I'm just showing you completely the wrong thing, don't mind me. So this is them both flat on the floor, and you can see that Dromenvanger is about 1/2 centimetre shorter, and it's also ever so slightly narrower. But actually the pages are the same width, it's just the cover of Zemlja Snova that seems to extend a little bit further. I'm hoping... Yeah, that's all lined up. So you can see on these edges... Sorry, I'm sat next to my camera, so it's actually really difficult trying to get everything in shot. And last time I did one of these, my legs went dead. So do bear with me. Right, so the next one is number 9. We're on to thickness. So let's pull these up again. I don't know if this is going to show up very well, but Dromenvanger, which is this one, is a little bit thicker than Zemlja Snova. And I'll go on to more about that later, but that is because the paper is thicker. It's nothing to do with the covers. It is the paper that makes it thicker. So, number 10, oh, we're picking this up again, sorry, it's like musical chairs, is the binding. Now, I'm hoping this is in shot. They are both string and glue bound, but Zemlja Snova has more glue than Dromenvanger. So, the spine is a little bit better on Zemlja Snova, but glue and string bound spines are normally very durable and very good. So you will need to be a little bit careful with Dromenvanger. I've been kind of bashing it about a bit, taking lots of photos and pulling it about. And it's doing all right, but it is starting to pull away ever so slightly in the middle, so I will need to be a bit more careful. Right, so number 11 is language. So obviously, with them being published in different countries, they are also published in different languages. As I mentioned, I don't read either language, so for those of you that, like me, speak English or anything that isn't Croatian or Dutch, it won't really matter what language it's in because you won't understand it anyway. And I have no idea what any of it says, so I can't tell you if any of the text differs between the books. I don't know what any of it says. The only thing I have translated, which brings us on to number 12, is the titles. So obviously you can see that the titles are different, but they also actually translate slightly differently. So Dromenvanger translates to Dreamcatcher, and Zemlja Snova translates to either Dreamland or Land of Dreams. It's not totally clear online which it is. So they do mean slightly different things, but they do really kind of describe the imagery. There's a lot of sort of fantasy, dreamlike scenes and worlds. It's absolutely beautiful, the artwork. So number 13 I've already touched on. The publisher is different, so Zemlja Snova is published by Focus and Dromenvanger is published by BBNCU Togethers, and their logo says MUS, and I'm not totally sure what that stands for. And I'm not sure anyone wants me to try and say that, because I'm not good at Dutch, as I've already shown. I'm probably saying these titles completely wrongly. I'm so sorry if I am butchering your languages. So number 14 is the paper colour, and this is one of the biggest differences. So I'm really hoping this is going to show up. Let's just put this here. I've got the wrong page, let's turn that, there we go. So, on the left we've got Dromenvanger, and this has a really lovely cream paper. If you have any of the books already published by this Dutch publisher, like Schemertied and Droomreis, again butchering your language, I'm so sorry, then as far as I can see, this is exactly the same paper as those books. So if you have any of the colouring books by this publisher, then you'll know what the paper's like, and it's really lovely. It's got a little bit of tooth, it's really thick, it's great for pens and pencils. Obviously don't use alcohol markers, they'll bleed through, but it's really good for pretty much all the mediums you can think of apart from alcohol markers. And then as you can see, Zemlja Snova here on the right is bright white and very lightly textured. It's not very good for water-based pens. So that brings me on to point number 14, which is the paper thickness. So I'm hoping you can hear this. So Zemlja Snova doesn't have paper that's as thick as Dromenvanger, and I can show you this by, I have coloured this tiny little bit here, and on this side you can't see any bleeding or shadowing. I also coloured this part, and the only sort of part that you can see through is not because of the ink, it's just because it's darker, so actually you can see the text through the page a little bit, which happens in practically all colouring books. I actually have a second copy of Zemlja Snova, so this was the original edition, and I coloured this as my test for water-based pens, and you can see it shadows really badly, and in some places it's actually starting to bleed through, and I did colour as lightly as possible. That was just with some Stabilo 0.88 fine liners. So yeah, unfortunately you really can't use water-based pens in Zemlja Snova at all without sacrificing the reverse image, which is such a shame, especially when this book is like gold dust to try and get hold of. So the paper is much better in Dromenvanger. So that then brings us on to number 16, which is the copyright page. I'm sorry, I'm a bit inundated with books now. I'm getting myself in a muddle. So this is just a layout difference, so you can see that all of the information is in the bottom half on Dromenvanger, and it's much more spread out in Zemlja Snova. Next we have image order. Now, when the first edition of Zemlja Snova came out, this one, 3 of the double page spreads were split up. So I'll show you an example of one, and that was these. So both of these images are half of a pair, which are later on in the book, and they were split up. Now in later editions of Zemlja Snova, this has been rectified, much to the relief of many of us, and I was lucky enough to be sent a correctly ordered copy, and I know a lot of people have been wondering whether Dromenvanger would have the correct ordered pages, and I can confirm that it does. So, to clarify, Dromenvanger has the exact same image order as the newer editions of Zemlja Snova. So, if your images are in the correct order in your copy of Zemlja Snova, then they are in exactly the same order as the copies of Dromenvanger. So I'm really pleased to see that these have been sorted out, because I know a lot of colourists were really disappointed because the images that were split up are so obviously pairs. So we'll just show you the others, because there were just 2 more. So there's this one. And mine doesn't actually quite line up. I'm not sure why that is, but it doesn't really matter. That's just me being picky. And then the final one was this one, and this one was the one that confused people so much, because when this page was on its own, this is actually a dragon behind, but a lot of people didn't notice and they thought it was a wall. So they were really upset when they'd coloured it as a wall and then found out it was the other half of this dragon. So it's really nice that it's a full page. This is one of the best spreads in the book, actually. So it's really nice that that's been sorted out. So the next thing is the image size, and this is a really strange one. So as I mentioned earlier, the book is ever so slightly smaller, the Dromenvanger copy, and the images are exactly the same size, obviously apart from the completely full-size spreads, which are ever so slightly bigger in Zemlja Snova, or have a little bit more image. But the ones in the ancillary pages, so the pages before the book actually starts, are ever so slightly bigger in Zemlja Snova than they are in Dromenvanger, but it's only the first 3 pages, so it's really strange. I'm not quite sure why that is, but I thought it worth mentioning. Then we're on to number 19, so we're nearly done, and that is image orientation. So I'll just find the correct pages to show you. So we're going to look at the bottom of these pages. So I've got Dromenvanger on top and Zemlja Snova at the bottom. And if you look at the very base of the image, they're cut off slightly differently. So here we've actually got some grass at the bottom of this plant, and here you don't actually see the bottom of it. And that goes all the way along this page. You can see it all the way along the spread. This only happens on a few of the spreads. I'm not quite sure why, but again, I just thought it worth noting. So number 20 is the weight. So I mentioned earlier that the paper in Dromenvanger is thicker, and therefore the book is a little bit heavier. So Zemlja Snova weighs 527 grams, and Dromenvanger weighs 561. And that's exactly the same as Book Depository says it is, though I have 2 copies, one of which I will be running a giveaway for, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. And one of them weighed 561 and one weighed 565, so I'm not quite sure why that is, but there you go. So number 21 is the availability of the books, and I actually wrote this post last night, and I'm having to rewrite some of it because of events that have happened today. So the Dutch publisher posts their books for worldwide delivery through Book Depository, and I know a lot of us have been pre-ordering it since it was released on there in July, and it was due out on the 15th of October. Unfortunately, it's now actually been taken down from Book Depository, and it just says it's currently unavailable. And a few of the members of my fan group for Zemlja Snova have said that they're actually getting refunds from Book Depository because they're not sure when stock is coming in. I don't actually know what's happening about stock. I'm going to contact the publisher and see if I can find out any more about what's going on and what will be happening in the future about being able to access copies. It's not currently available to buy on Amazon.com or Amazon.co.uk, so we're not really sure what's going on. We were really hoping that this was going to be much more accessible and a much easier way of getting this artwork to people, because they were selling through Book Depository and they ship free worldwide. But yeah, there are currently problems, so we're not sure what's happening with that. I will be updating people if and when I find anything out in my fan group that I run on Facebook. The link to that will be in the description. You will also find out about it again through me on my Facebook page. Again, the link is in the description box. And that is where I'll be running a giveaway for my second copy of Dromenvanger. So I will be running that from the 15th of October until midnight on the 31st of October, and that will be UK time, so do make sure that you get your entries in quickly enough. There will be a tab on the left hand side of my Facebook page saying giveaway. If you just click on that and then follow all the instructions, and you'll have lots of chances to win a copy. I'm hoping at a later date to run more giveaways once it's more accessible on Book Depository and I can just ship a book to the winner that way. So yeah, my giveaway will be open worldwide, and it's a really good way of getting a copy of the book, which is currently a little bit tricky to get hold of. So yeah, I hope that I haven't waffled on too much, and I hope that I've shown you all of the differences I've found, shown you sort of the similarities. There's also an unboxing video of me getting very excited about opening the book, and there's also a flick through of the book, so you can, and that's silent, you don't have to listen to me talking, so yeah, you can sit and watch that. There will be a written review including photos on my blog. All of these links will be in the description. I shall just bombard you with links. And if you've enjoyed this video, please do give me a thumbs up, please subscribe to my channel. It's really nice having your support and knowing that I'm not just talking to myself. So yeah, I'll leave it there, and thank you ever so much for listening if you've managed to get this far through, and I will see you soon. Bye!